Hi, my name is Dr. Kelly Wallace, and I'm here to talk to you about cats and microchipping. I have some questions here I'm going to answer, and hopefully you'll learn something about microchipping and the importance of it. Um, so, what does it mean to microchip your cat? So, a microchip is about the size of a grain of white rice that is injected with a large bore needle, usually between the shoulder blades on a dog or a cat, and that microchip gives off a radio frequency. There's two radio frequencies, and we've kind of switched more to the ISO standard. Um, Sometimes pets can have two microchips. If they were microchipped, a while ago when we were reading two different frequencies, we've now gone to more of a one universal frequency. A microchip is not a GPS tracking device. You're not going to be able to, I'm not going to be able to pull up this machine and tell you where your cat is. You can't pull up on your phone and see where your cat is. If someone finds your cat and takes them to the veterinary facility, shelter, wherever, they can scan the pet with a scanner and it will populate with a number and a phone number to call. When we call that number, whatever information was given to the company at the time is what we have to go with. So a lot of times there'll be a phone number, address, and an owner's name. If you never call and set up the chip with the company, or if you move, change your contact information and never tell the company, we won't be able to find you. And that unfortunately is a common issue that we have. It's rare for us to find a cat with a microchip. Most people don't do it, which they should because cats like to get out and roam. But when we do find them, the microchip, a lot of times nobody has registered the chip or their information is not up to date and they've moved and we can't find the owner. So it's real important to make sure when you get that chip implanted to call the company, get your information put on the chip, and then remember to call if your phone number changes or you move. We do recommend microchipping of all pets. All of my pets are microchipped. You never know when they're going to get out, escape. There could be, you never know what's going to happen. You could have, heaven forbid, a house fire or damage to your house in a storm and the pet gets out. Recently, we had some bad storms here and some small tornadoes in Gastonia. You never know what's going to happen to your house, and say you're not there or you're in the hospital. They come to your house. They don't know if it's your cat or not. No one knows. If they scan the pet, they can identify the pet with the microchip and they can get you reunited back with your pet. A lot of times pets are lost while traveling. It's very common. Sometimes for pets to escape while clients are, traveling, taking a potty break, letting the dog out at a rest station, and they take off. So you never know when your pet could get loose. It's also used as a means of identification. So if you're traveling with your pet, say internationally, the microchip is used similar to like a tattoo or a brand would be used on a horse or a cow. It is a unique set of numbers that identifies your pet. So say you have two identical looking black poodles. If you scan the microchip, you can easily identify one over the other versus, does that look like Fluffy? I'm not quite sure. So it is very important to microchip your pet, and it's a relatively inexpensive procedure or a device to implant. Um, we also recommend microchipping even if your cat has, our dog cat has a collar on. A collar can come off. We've had animals come in before where the tags have been so chewed or broken that we can't read the information. Again, you can scan the chip and you can get the information. Microchips do migrate, so we typically put them between the shoulders, but whenever a pet is scanned, we scan the whole body because I have seen them migrate down the legs or down the back. But if the chip is there, we would be able to pick up on it. You can also see them on x-ray. So if we do have a pet that comes in that's hurt, we take x-rays, we'll see the microchip, we'll know to scan them then and try and contact the owner. What if you forget or lose your cat's microchip information? It is kept in our computer software. So you can always call us. We can get you that information. But once a pet is scanned, their microchip number is entered into their medical record. So we have that information for you if you need it. What is the difference between a GPS and an RFID device? GPS is like a GPS locator, kind of similar now to the Apple AirTags. These RFIDs are radio frequency. It gives off a radio frequency that reads off a number. It's not something that can actively track your pet. The pet, again, has to be taken to a veterinary facility of some kind and actively scanned to see if it has a chip. We highly recommend all pets be chipped. The most common time to microchip a pet is when they're undergoing their spay or their neuter because they're asleep. It is a bigger size needle that we use to inject the chip under the skin. We can do it with them awake. It's just maybe a little more painful, but not that much. They do not have to be put to sleep